Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Android Tech Talk. Not too many people today, but at least there is a representation for every team, I think. Yes,
Yeah.
there is. Cool. All right. Who wants to take it first?
I think Alex wants to go.
Sure.
Yeah, I can go since I had a vacation for like 4 days out of 5 last week. I can tell you guys that I didn't do anything.
Okay, cool.
But we haven't seen you on a tech talk for a very long time. You have lots
I am for past what? This is my second month on the bug duty. It is boring. There's nothing. That's not much to report except for like renaming strings and mostly some small tasks.
You can just
And
say
now,
iOS recently. Fine.
Yeah, and we have an end of cycle next week, and I have to come up with something like what I've done. So something that not gonna bore everyone to death.
I will provide you a really big PR.
Okay, for last month I reviewed Anna's PR.
Yeah, you can take some credit for plugging
Possibly.
if you review Anna's PRs. Okay.
All right. Actually, have one issue that I talked to Gil and try to talk to Guy. It's regarding the Twitter login. We're using a really old Twitter 4J. I mean, it's like more than 7 years old, I think now.
Oh my God.
And I know iOS uses TwitterKit, which is also available for the Android. So I'm not implying that if Twitter is a very...
As a shell.
What was that?
Twitter, but not. You wrote something about the template. I don't really remember.
No, he's saying about the Twitter implementation in the SDK. It's the Twitter 4J, it's the old implementation before Twitter had a library, an SDK library. I think they have it like 5 or 5 years ago.
So I don't think really.
If you
Yeah,
are,
iOS uses it already, so
Yeah, they're using this.
yeah, this is the only implementation. You then created this implementation of Twitter 4J. If you
I'm
remember.
not sure.
Okay, yes. So
well,
we have
I'm
a
sure.
implementation of Twitter. Nobody touched it. Nobody ever refactored it. Once I think.
Well, the question is, do we really use it? Like, does it make sense to bring up?
That's a better question. I don't know if any of the apps still use Twitter sharing.
You can share without your Twitter. You can share with using the content provider share, native share. Yeah, in time.
Okay. Yeah, there used to be direct Twitter share, so you would just tweet.
Why
Yeah.
else would you connect to Twitter?
No idea.
There used to be
Now we use the native sharing drawer, whatever you want to call it, right? So
But Alex, you're asking because you want to do some cleanup, or you need to change something in a feature that and requires this to be changed also.
Small.
Sorry. We can't hear you now. If you're trying to speak. Okay. I guess I will let Alex answer when he's back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back here. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on VPN, so it was slowing down the connection.
Okay.
So basically, my task is to fix the login issues with Twitter, because as of now, we're passing the callback, and this callback, first of all, the hosting scheme doesn't exist in the application itself, so it's not going to redirect you anywhere, period.
Okay.
Second of all, this callback should match whatever is set in app.twitter by the customer, and we do not have the access to that. So what I'm deciding to put as solution is to request token without the callback. Thus, with the successful authorization, we're just going to stay on the same fragment or activity whenever everything is done. Does it make sense?
Yes, but I don't remember all the implementation details to tell you if it's the right thing to do.
This is why I wanted to talk to you, and possibly after this meeting, or if we don't really use Twitter, then maybe we can make some patch or hack to this. If we use Twitter a lot, then the most proper way would be to switch to the Twitter kit.
Yes. Yeah, you can get the answer from support who is using Twitter, but somebody apparently asked you to fix a bug. So where did you get the requirement from?
Yes, it was a request that none of the applications, neither UI builder or templates, can log into the Twitter through the settings.
Okay, and who
So this is the bug.
Who gave you this?
I think it was Boaz.
Okay. So Boaz and support can answer the question who actually needs it.
Every app has the option to connect.
Maybe
log
in.
If they use it.
If you just log into Twitter and don't do anything with it.
Yeah, we should. I think we should just remove it. And this is a product decision.
Okay.
All right. So your recommendation is to figure out who uses it and take the necessary steps after that.
Yeah.
And if no one is using it, so maybe we need to understand from the product if we need it. Because if we do need it, so we need to fix it. And if we don't need it, so just to remove it.
I mean, since I'm working the core team, I'm not like on hands-on with the products itself, so it's really hard for me to give you the answer right now. But I'll look into it.
Okay, cool.
That's the only exciting thing that I have to offer, guys. Thank you.
We all wish you to do more exciting stuff in the future.
Yeah, well, it depends on how fast Gil will finish the optimization.
Okay.
Okay, so Javier is here, yeah?
Which one? We only have one.
No, I'm not here.
I saw that we have an issue with the FIFA widget, with the pending score, that it's like it's written like doesn't show the correct score. So I'm going to fix it, but I'm trying to understand if you experience it as well. Like, did you get a bug?
What's the issue again? Sorry?
The score of the penders are not correct. Do you think the score of the pendant, maybe you didn't update the SDK? I want you that I created a new SDK for FIFA, because if the score was tied, so you didn't see the pendant score, so you couldn't know who wins the game.
I see. Okay.
I created it, but now the pendant score in the widget is it's not correct. So I'm going to make another update. But if you're not familiar with it, so
just for penalties, if the game ended like with a regular winner.
1-1, so you don't see the penalty score, so you don't know who won the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody has reported it to us, honestly, and I haven't seen it. I can't say that I've looked at it. I was actually watching the game, so I didn't see the widget.
You already
but yeah, I knew the score. But yeah, if that's an issue, I'm sure that we're all using the same code. So if you can reproduce it, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to reproduce it. Problem is, there's no way to test it now, unless this game goes to penalty today. But
okay, but in our it's different. We have a different screen, so we are displaying also all the previous scores. We need it. Okay, so this is the one thing that I am doing. Other thing that we did, it's still we didn't finish, It's the Urban Airship push sound. Maybe Tarek can explain it.
Yeah.
Work on it.
Okay. So I got like two updates. One is related to the urban push sound, which when we have a custom push, we get the sound that is configured in the push, which is a custom sound. But if it's not configured as a custom push, we will play the default sound of the device. I have made a fix for it, so it will like in both cases, if it's default push or if it's a custom push, it will always play the sound that we set on the push notification. Yeah, so this is one thing I have. We should have it on the latest Urban plugin. This is one thing. Another update is related to the Atom program. I have made the change that, for example, if we have an Atom program and it has an Applicaster channel ID on the Atom, it will use it to play the item. It will look for an Applicaster channel ID. But if there is no Applicaster channel ID, then we will take a look on the content source to play the item. So first, we take a look to the Applicaster channel ID overrides the content source in order to know what to play. So this is also a thing I made. Before it wasn't possible. We only supported the Applicaster channel ID. We did not support to play a content source. So now we do. From today, I just merged my code.
This applies for Atom XML feeds?
The
or
Atom programs.
Atom programs?
Yeah.
But also DSP program.
Yeah.
Any
anything
Atom
that
model
any
is
Atom
great.
model. Yeah, any Atom model.
Okay.
So these are the two updates. I think that's it. Nothing else to update.
Okay, cool. All right, who's next?
I can.
Danny, this week you go first.
Okay. Last time I just disappeared. So I have a small update this time. I added kind of support in a timed event for the analytics. Basically, we have timed event only for, the analytics the only analytics provider that supports timed event is Flurry. And what I did is added when the timed event started, if for any other analytics provider that don't support time event, I just send another field, another parameter that says I think it's called event duration, which means it's the time between it's the period time of the event. So this is like the support of the time event for providers that are not supporting. So currently I implemented it for Facebook Analytics and Firebase Analytics. So if you see this parameter, this is what it means. And then
the function parameters. Don't understand.
Again?
Did you change the params? Did you add another params to the function, like to the entry point, the analytics utility?
Yeah, if in case you use, for example, Firebase Analytics, you would not get the for example, the play VOD item, since this is a timed event. So what we did until now is just not override this. I don't know exactly what the name is, but we didn't override the start event, log start event, or whatever it is. We just didn't do it. iOS just send it every time you start the event. For example, once you call the start time event, you just notify a regular normal event, not timed event.
Okay.
So now I just once you call the start event, I took the time, the time in milliseconds, and once you edit the event is end. I send it sends a normal log event with the parameter of the duration, the event duration.
So all the event duration are now will appear in the log event.
Exactly. With the extra parameter, yeah.
And for now,
sorry.
Jonathan, familiar with?
Johnny Austin.
Johnny Austin.
I guess he instructed.
Okay.
Right, it's in sync with Yoni, obviously.
Yeah, of course. This is his task, actually.
Hani,
Yes.
with this change, can we log the session time of the entire app, like when the user opens the app and when it closes?
It depends if you set it. It's apply on any timed event. You can do whatever you want. For example, if you start a time event once the user opened the app, and you ended the same event once it edited it, so it will do that.
Okay.
You can see what you can see in an example for timed event would be the play VOD item, for example, and you can see how exactly it works. So.
Okay. Thank you.
You can add any timed event that you want.
Okay.
It's not for specific events. It's the type of the log event.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And another small thing is, well, it's not an update, but it's something that I'm working on right now. It's an offline mode for the audio player. Basically, it's adding the support for open the React Native download screen if you offline, once you turn to offline. Currently I have a problem with this because I guess we don't save the bundle on cache. Yeah, so it's still a work in process. If anyone has any sense to add to it, it will be appreciated. That's it.
All right. Thanks. Next. Gil, you wanted to go?
Yeah, what I did was removing Crossmates. I have an open pull request if you want to review. It's quite big.
With a lot of red in it, probably.
Approved. No, I removed the repository itself, and the SDK had lots of references.
Sorry, Gil, I could barely hear you.
Yeah, I said that I removed the Crossmates from Zap Android. It's still on pull request, but I hope that it will be merged today. I think that's it for this week. I didn't have much more interesting stuff.
Do you want to say anything about Naav's podcast? Okay.
כאילו,
Okay.
אין לנו פתרון לזה.
Okay, cool. All right. Who's next?
Would just like to ask Gil something. I heard that you're working on refactoring the app flow, the loading or the initialization flow of the application. And we noticed that one of our clients wanted analytics for a login plugin. This login plugin uses required startup true, so it comes up right away. And it seems to come up before any of the analytics plugins get initialized. So we cannot send analytic events. So I was wondering if you are working on that, it would be nice to look at why that's happening to see if we can move the analytics plugins to the very first thing that happens. That way we could measure everything.
Can you say again what the flow is? You say that
the login plugin is initialized before the analytics plugin. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I will check.
Exactly.
I will check and I will update you. Okay?
It's alphabetic. It should be A analytics category.
Oh yeah.
No, the hook plugin is the hookup plugin is like loaded in another place, but yeah, I will check. No, actually, no, it's not. I don't know. I'll check. I will check.
Cool. Thanks.
Used to be different before my change.
I have no idea. Actually, this is something Juan encountered. So I don't know if it's before or after your change. Juan, if you can, try to, on the latest dev, try to see if you can reproduce this. It seems like basically it's not till after the hook ends for the required startup on the login plugin, then all the analytics plugins start initializing.
And
so I don't know. We could take a look at it again.
They both are hooked, right? Even the analytics are hook plugin.
No, it doesn't matter. Everything is loaded, but the plugin of the hook calls the analytics agent. Can you send me the repository of the plugin that I will see how it calls the analytics?
The task was to add analytics, so I don't think, maybe Juan, do you have a branch with those changes? I'll send you the plugin, okay. And then
exactly, what's a plugin? I mean, I can share the repository, but there is no change in the Android SDK.
From the plugin, you call the analytics agent to insights.
Yeah.
To report the analytics.
Yeah, Juan, when you were trying this, you called the analytics util.
I was mute. Okay. Let me check real quick. I will. Okay, I have it here. Yeah, I have initialize analytics agent, right? That's the first function, right? It says in the comments initialization of your. Oh, let me check.
Okay, I think maybe we should take it after and let's talk after the tech talk, okay?
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, it's the first one. So yeah, I will go first if you finish, Javi.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the plugins that I am developing, when it is a plugin dedicated to suggest content to specific users. And when I push an event, I need to have the user ID. So right now we don't have way to do that, and you only can get the token if you implement it in the login plugin. So yesterday I asked in the Android channel, but then I talked to Javi, and in the login contract developed by Elad, I added 2 more methods: is get user ID and set user ID. I set it as default to know. I mean, when the developer is developing the plugin, doesn't require to implement these methods. I can share my screen to show, but if only if you need it.
So Juan, it will break now all the current plugins.
On the what?
It will break all the plugins, the login plugins now, yeah?
If I break it?
All the
If I
login
broke?
plugins that will point.
No, well, he's saying that it shouldn't break because he made it default to return null, so you do not have to implement that method.
Exactly.
When you extend the login contract, when you implement the login contract, you don't have to do it's not a required method.
Okay, what is Java 8?
Java 8.
Ah, it's a Java 8 thing.
So what?
How you did it? Like what? It's Java 8?
Oh.
It's what?
I said default. Let me share my screen real quick.
You added a default interface. You can do that, yeah, in Java 8.
Oh yeah, that was the default interface.
Okay.
Well, let me not share my screen then.
So we need, I think it's a good practice to do it in all of our contracts. And it won't break nothing.
Yeah. I think Hani, you did something similar back then when you added default method for interfaces.
Juan, are you going to share the screen?
Well, let me, yeah. Are you seeing the screen?
Yeah.
Get user ID, set user ID.
So this is the 2 default methods. So you don't have to implement it in your analytics plugin.
What is the user ID?
The user ID depends on the login plugin. The user ID can be a number, can be an email. All depends of the plugin. In this case, in the case of Mekong Go, it's a number.
What does it mean? Like, why we need it?
Basically, let me try to explain the problem. We have one plugin that wants to get a user ID from another plugin. So we have a login plugin for Medcom Go, and then we have an analytics plugin that recommends stuff to the user, and it does that by tracking everything the user has watched. So we need a user ID. So the easy, nasty solution to this would be just save the user in the preferences somewhere with whatever name you want, and then just pull it out in the other plugin. But we want the other plugin to be generic. We want other clients, other teams to be able to use this plugin in the future. So basically, in the other plugin, we just get the login manager, get the login plugin, and then do login plugin.get user ID, right? So then that way anybody could use it, and you can pass whatever user ID from whatever CMS, or I don't know, from whatever system your customer happens to be using. Now, we could have also used get token, which is there, but I didn't know what people were using get token for. It seems a little too generic. I think this is more specific, and you don't have to implement it. So I don't know. That was my reasoning behind trying to approach it this way.
Yeah, but I think it kind of extends the scope of the login contract to things that are beyond login, right? I mean, it just, now the login contract provides information that originally it's not responsible for, unless you're saying that the ID is given by logging in.
No, this should be the token.
Yeah, the token is used once the user logged in, they get a token, and from this moment forward, the token can be used by other plugins by calling the get token. Whereas the ID, where do you obtain this ID from? That's the question.
From the client in this case.
Where
What do
in
you
the
mean from the
code?
client?
Where in the code? Like
In the response, when you log in the response of the API, you get the user ID.
And plus a token, or it's instead of a token?
Plus a token. Plus a token.
Okay. So it's another need to, like, it's a
it's part of the login.
part of the login, and it's additional information about the user that it's not the token that is given.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a token. We have a JWT token for the content. But we also have this ID that we need it for multiple things. And we have needs for this for other clients as well. And again, we could do it the other way, which I mentioned, to save the user ID on the device somewhere. For example, we have another client that also has a login plugin that wants to then use Kantar Media, which is some audio watermarking thing, to give points to the user. So they have an API where we send whether or not the watermark is detected and what the user ID is. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe this is giving it further responsibility that it shouldn't have. And, you know,
I mean,
this is why we're bringing it up here.
If the ID is indeed given by the login process itself, then you're just, you're jetting. What concerns me is that if we have another login provider that provides a third type of information, which is not an ID or token, then we would have to add more and more methods. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, of course, we would have to eventually. I want to know the username. I want to know this person's email. I get you. It's gonna grow exponentially.
Yeah, but I guess since it's part of the login, maybe something like getting the user data, which the ID would be part of, in addition to the token, which token has its own position, and then you can add whatever other data, get user data, get user information, info, whatever, and then when it scales to other types of information from the user, then you don't specify the name of the method in the contract, which should still be a default implementation like you did, but maybe not specify just for an ID, because that sounds a bit more specific to the specific need of your plugin. Maybe
instead of the token.
Token is a token.
Token is a token.
Is a different thing.
With every login we have, it ends with a token. That's the main purpose of the login plugin.
Okay.
To give you a token to identify the user for login purposes, for authentication purposes.
So
So instead of returning, of getting the user ID, you're saying that we have to return user data, and inside the user data include the user ID, because
you can use a hash map,
like we do in the custom configuration. Like create
a hash map of string, and then you have the freedom
put whatever
to,
you want in it, and you can call it. You're not bound to specific naming, because you might call it user ID and another user identifier, so you're not bound even to the naming.
Set it with key
Yeah.
value and extract it from the key.
Usually interfaces doesn't have getters and setters like classes do. This is what-
Okay, okay, cool.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
So will be.
I will do that.
No, it's hard.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so just
Okay. Yeah,
changing what we
generalize.
out of it, but I guess that makes sense. We didn't encounter until now any more information being brought by the login, but if the use case, if we see that the use case is good, we can definitely support it.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay, cool. Thank
All
you.
right. Cool, thanks Juan. And Javi.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so Anna and Datanas. Who's next?
Yeah, I can go. It's Android TV and Amazon TV. I'm UI builder. So I managed to build Quasi TV with UI builder, and I'm about like 80-90% done building Las Estrellas. So if you want, I can share my screen and show you what I'm doing with Las Estrellas on UI builder, how it's looking.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello. Oh, hi.
Who's using an iPhone Android desktop?
That must be Richie. Cool. Right. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I'm faking something here. So this is UI Builder, yeah? I can navigate it, and it's configured here. This is the home screen, and then this is the grid screen.
Where is the grid in the app?
So there is no grid, but the thing with the grid is that if I want to add, for example, a rail, like this, and I can't specify the cell style.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going for the grid, and I wouldn't be able to have this big cell here and this small cell here, and actually even the promoted collection, like this on the top is a promoted collection, which is a cell 1. Yeah, so I can't use the rail. This is why I'm using a grid.
Is this a known issue? We are using Rails with
UI builder.
We are using Rails.
Oh, you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you can use a rail, but you can't specify the cell.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Like this cell style.
Maybe for a different family, maybe it's that it doesn't exist in Colorado.
I think
Oh.
in Colorado.
Yes, they don't exist in Colorado.
Does it?
Yeah.
Which one then shall I choose?
Not
You
right.
can use Danu.
Daniel. Okay, and now
Oh, that's a live demo. See if it works.
okay, so grid screen.
Yeah.
Then you go horizontal. Oh yeah, there you go. Nice. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Nice one.
You see, you should have asked me.
Because it's in your
It's
former team. It's in the EU team. So. But actually,
it's an easy one, by the way. So it's an easy thing to change. So
cool. Okay, so yeah, definitely
and
from now on. And if you find bugs in the noob, also let us know.
there's the grid as well. Oh, sorry. So there's the grid.
Cool.
And that's pretty much it. Like I need to finish it, and then I think we would be able to create all the Android TV and Amazon TV apps on UI Builder, like make them the same, which I know is not the case for mobile. So this would be another argument to switch to UI Builder, because the templates, like they're deprecated in the sense that we don't spend any time improving them or adding more features or whatever. So it's UI Builder. What was that? Sorry, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, he was wishing that we remove the templates completely at some point in the future. All right, cool.
Yeah, I mean, we can remove on Android TV, Amazon TV, we can remove them, but like if we want to keep backwards compatibility, they're here. Like it's a very easy task to remove them. They're not tightly coupled.
Yeah, also for mobile. Cool. Okay. Very nice. Thank you, Anna.
So basically, I was working on the advertisement, and we are discovering more and more traps in here in this task. And one of the traps is that we are having the legacy code which shows the banners, which are not actually banners, they are linked images. And it seems to not work on Android. There is one app I found which is configured for iOS, but the Android, I haven't found one. So maybe there is a regression for a long time now. I'm not sure if anyone is using that and can give me a hint or something that would be really useful. To avoid your stupid question, I did ask support for help. So yeah, this is where I am.
Cool. All right. Anything else, guys? Udi, anything that you want to add?
I have a question. When I'm doing a plugin and the class name, okay, in the manifest, when I'm doing a Zapifest, the class name is actually optional. Okay. Now, if I will leave it empty, what will happen?
How can it be optional?
How it will work? What will happen in the SDK? What happens in the SDK?
No, it will not give you the plugin. That's it. It will try to reflect and get the plugin. It will fail.
Okay, so the answer is it cannot be optional. The plugin will not work.
It cannot be optional. It shouldn't be optional.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe data source plugins don't need it, or they do need it.
It's not a plugin.
No, it's a plugin.
No, data source plugin. It's not a plugin from the SDK. It's a plugin.
Okay. So it's mandatory for a native. It's mandatory for a native plugin, and it's not mandatory actually to data source and for React Native. React Native could have a situation that it doesn't use the class name because it uses the default one.
Yeah, then you have the API.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it was created because
so it's
optional.
It's mandatory for native iOS and native Android.
Yeah.
And
I guess
optional for data source.
It was put optional because Zapifest is one for all.
Yeah, okay, I got the answer.
I guess.
Thank you. That's it.
Always happy to help. All right, guys, I guess that's it. Thank you all.
Bye.
Have a good day. It will be uploaded today.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Yes.